Hello everyone, welcome to Ansarkari. In this video, we'll be continuing with the questions of the topic ratio and proportion, specifically for the ratio topic. And the next question says that if A ratio B is equal to 1 upon 2 ratio 1 upon 3 and B ratio C is equal to 1 upon 5 ratio 1 upon 3, then A plus B ratio B plus C is equal to, and then they're asking the ratio of this particular thing itself. So we'll just write it simply. For example, A ratio B gives us 1 upon 2 ratio 1 upon 3. Then B ratio C gives us 1 upon 5 ratio 1 upon 3. Now, since we know that here we are having fractions, and just in the previous video, we discussed the method as to how do we remove the denominator from these given fractions to simplify. So, to convert these particular fractions into the whole number form, so as to get a simplified version of the ratios to calculate the actual ratio between A, B, and C, so that we can compare them directly and then find out this particular ratio that is being asked. So we'll take the LCM of these two numbers, that is 2 and 3, so that they get cancelled out. And since we know that the LCM of 2 and 3 is equal to 6, we'll multiply both these numbers by 6. And consequently, we'll get 3 here and we'll get 2 here on cancelling 6 and 3. Then same will be the case for the ratio of B to C. Here the LCM of 5 and 3 is equal to 15. So we'll multiply both these fractions by 15 and then we'll write here 3 ratio 5. So the ratio of B to C is 3 ratio 5 and that of A to B is 3 ratio 2. Same thing we'll be mentioning here, that is A ratio B is equal to 3 ratio 2 and B ratio C is equal to 3 ratio 5. Next what happens is we'll take this common part, that is B, and we'll try to make both these numbers equal so that we can directly compare A and C. So now we'll take the LCM of 3 and 2, which is equal to 6. And to make this number 2, 6, we'll have to multiply it by 3. And to make this number 3, 6, we'll have to multiply it by 2. But since we are multiplying these two numbers, or perhaps we are multiplying 2 by 3, we also need to multiply 3 by 3. Because these two numbers, the ratio that was given here, it needs to be in proportion. If a certain ratio, suppose A to B ratio is 2 ratio 3. So if a certain ratio is given to us, it is important that even if we are multiplying this ratio by any number or we are dividing this ratio by any number, we must make sure that that number is same and the operation that we are doing is being done by both the numbers, is being done with both the numbers. Otherwise, the proportion that they are in, it will get mismatched and then we'll get a wrong answer. They won't remain in the same ratio, as we have discussed in the concept video as well. So I was just repeating this particular point here. And so similarly, we'll have to multiply 3 here. And similarly, the case for the ratio of B to C, that is 3 to 5, that we found out here. So if we have to multiply this 3 by 2, we also need to multiply this 5 by 2, so that the ratio of B and C are in proportion, are kept in proportion. So after multiplying, we get 10 here, 5 2s are 10, 3 2s are 6, and 6 will be the common number, obviously, in both the cases. That is our whole aim. And 3 multiplied by 3 gives us 9. So the direct ratio between A, B, and C is 9, 6, and 10. This means that if A is equal to 9, B is equal to 6, and C will be equal to 10. These are the specific ratios. And similarly, just to compare or for better understanding, we can also say that if A is equal to 18, B is equal to 12, B will be equal to 12, and C will be equal to 20. Again, because we multiplied all these numbers just by 2. If we cancel them by 2, we again get the same ratio. That is the whole point of ratio. We have been discussing in this particular point since long. So the same case is here. And now the question is asking, then A plus B ratio B plus C is equal to. Since here no value is given, we'll directly depend upon these ratios because they are our sole values. So a plus b gives us 15. That is 9 plus 6 will be equal to 15. This will be a plus b. And then b plus c will be equal to 16. And now they're asking the ratio of these two numbers, that the ratio of a plus b is to b plus c. So we'll simply write 15 is to 16. If the numbers would have been like, if the numbers weren't co-prime and they were in the same table, for example, the numbers were 14 to 16, just for the sake of example, I can in this particular. This is just for example for understanding. So then we would have cancelled them and we would have written 7 ratio 8. Right? We would have simplified it to the extent that the numbers are not included in a common table. We can directly use it, as is the case between all these options that are given. So we can say that the answer for this particular question, or the ratio of a plus b to that of b plus c, will be equal to 15 ratio 16. This will be our answer for this particular question. Now, this is the next question that we have, and these questions are portrayed or perhaps are asked in different ways. For example, here we are not given the ratios directly, but we have been mentioned the relation between these particular entities, like twice A, thrice B, and 4 times B is equal to 5 times C. So we have been given the relation in terms of times and not directly the ratio in numbers of the particular entities. Now here they are saying that there are 3 numbers A, B and C such that twice of A, which means 2 times A. So here A is some particular number, entity, anything, and if you multiply it by 2, that means twice of it is equal, we'll put the sign here, to thrice. Thrice means 3 times B. Again, they are getting multiplied here. So this is just for explaining part. We don't need to write this multiply here. And the next equation says that 4 times B, 4 times B will be equal to 5 times C. So we will write 5C here. Now they're asking the ratio between A and C. Again, we need to find out the direct relation between A, B, and C so that we can find out the ratio of A to C. For this now, we need to understand that how do we make out the ratio simply in numbers if the relation is given to us in this particular manner. And we have discussed these type of cases in the concept videos of ratio and proportion. So you can also go back there to refer to it for a better understanding. And here also I'll explain it again. So simply when we have been given the relation in this particular way, it just means that we need to focus on the variables and we need to put the variables in such an order, in such a fashion so that they look like fractions. For example, here we have 2a is equal to 3b. So I'll put this implies sign here and I'll copy 2a and I'll copy 3 here. But since b is getting multiplied with 3 here, if I switch it to the left hand side, I will divide b because here b is getting multiplied. So the operation switches. Again, when I put this implies size, so I'll just write a upon b and then I have 3. This is all just copied now. And since I know that here 2 is getting multiplied with this particular number, that is a upon b. So here on the right hand side, when we shift 2 to the right hand side, it will get divided. Very simple. This just basically means that if a is equal to 3, b will be equal to 2. And this is also the case of ratio. We call this particular thing also ratio. Same, simply in this case, we can directly write b upon c is equal to 5 upon 4. I've told you the understanding part from this particular case. This I've written just directly. The same concept, it is very easy to understand. So a ratio b is equal to 3 ratio 2 that we found out from here. And b ratio c will be equal to, I can also write it in this particular form, right? B ratio c for simplicity. So that will be 5 ratio 4. Now, again, we need to make this common part, that is, we need to make it equal. So we will multiply it by 5 because the LCM is 10 and we need to multiply this whole thing by 2. So here it will be 8, then we get 10 here and we get 15. So here we have the ratio of A, B and C is equal to 15 ratio 10 ratio 8. And the question is asking the ratio between A and C is, so the ratio between A and C is equal to 15 ratio 8. So this will be our answer for this particular question. Thank you.